Money is one of the most honest mirrors you will ever have. It doesn't lie, it doesn't judge, it simply reflects back to you what you believe you are worthy of receiving. And when you shift the reflection, everything changes. Welcome to Superhuman Selling, where this month, if you're listening in real time, our community is celebrating what we are calling Overflow October. And today we are going deep into why money is your mirror and how to use that reflection to unlock your next level of wealth. So I want you to ask yourself as we go into today's episode, what is it that money is revealing to you right now? I love this conversation and what we're going to be talking about today, and when I think about the topics that are asked for me to speak on most in our community, it comes back consistently to money, wealth consciousness, abundance. And it's a big conversation and it's an important conversation. And one of the things that I found in my own life is as I ascend my goals, my identity, my vision, that my relationship with money gets to continually shift and change and transform as well. And so today we're going to be talking about that. And if you can't tell from listening to me speak, my voice is working through something right now. We'll say that we just wrapped a 5-day event, actually the first 5-day event I'd ever held within our community, which was really incredible. We had our graduating consultants in for 2 days. Then we had a full community, full day sales mastermind. We had a magazine launch party for She Sells Magazine, which is officially out in the world now, which is so exciting. You can send me a DM. I'm at Elyse Archer on any and all social, and you can ask for the link to download the magazine. It's totally free. And it is something I'm incredibly excited about, proud of. It's been a really beautiful um, dream coming to fruition. But so anyway, we had a magazine launch party, and then we did a 2-day training after that for all of our new consultants and some of our tenured consultants as well. So coming off a 5-day event, um, there was a lot of energy moved, and it's funny, Laura, my integrator, was saging my throat on Friday because I could feel my voice starting to go, and she said, "You're not ready for that. It's not time for that to happen." So just bear with me. It's on the rebound, but I committed to recording this podcast for you, and so I'm gonna show up for you and record it even with a bit of a scratchy voice, and that's okay. So let's talk about some concepts here. Let's talk about this idea of money as feedback. All right. So I used to think that if I wanted to make more money, I needed to work harder, I needed to hustle more. That is not true. It is not true. The amount of money that you allow into your life is a reflection of your identity, your self concept, your level of self worth. One of the things I say again and again is your level of income will never exceed your level of self worth. And so, again, as you ascend, as you grow, as you expand your self concept, there's generally an expanded amount of money that gets to support that. And I really believe that with money, we want to let it back up the vision, not be the vision itself. What do I mean by that? Well, I used to make money itself the vision. And when we do that, we actually we put ourselves out of alignment. It's actually harder to make money from that energy because you feel like you're in a chasing energy. You feel like you need it to validate yourself, to feel worthy. And what I want you to do and what we're going to talk about on this episode is really tuning into who did you come here on this planet to be? Like, what is your fullest self expression? What does that look like for you? And it's going to be different for every single person listening to this. And that's what's so beautiful. And it gets to evolve. It really gets to evolve. My self concept used to be that of a woman who worked a job for someone else, who was upper middle class, who, for me, I was like, I make 6 figures a year. That was my self concept because that was what I saw my dad do. And I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do too in my life because he was the breadwinner. And when I went out into the corporate world and became a breadwinner myself, I kind of modeled after him. We do a lot of that subconsciously. I was a woman who felt like I could shop in certain stores, but not others. I might really have desired designer things, but said, oh, that's way too expensive. I could never imagine doing that for myself. And as I've really done the inner work on myself and been on this personal development journey for over 10 years now, but really consciously making a lot of shifts and having a lot of big leaps over the past 5 years, I've really expanded my identity and self concept. And the money that flows in my life is a mirror of that. The money that flows in your life is a mirror of your identity and your self concept. So, as I've allowed myself to actually believe that I could be the woman I feel in my core I came here to be and follow my deepest dreams and desires. And I'll share some personal examples, but I want you to tune into whatever is present and relevant for you. So for me, and it was fun because I took these pictures off my vision board recently. I, for many, many years, had a desire to launch a magazine, but didn't have the self concept to back it. I also had a desire to have an in person office space on the water here in Portland, Maine. But again, that felt like, well, why would I have that? I didn't have team locally. I didn't really see the reason behind it. I also, even the first few years of running my business, didn't really fully fuse with like true CEO energy and identity. I probably identified more as an individual contributor, like a lone wolf, kind of like I had that was my comfort zone for so long. And so as I've allowed my self concept to expand, and really it's been about trusting myself and trusting my vision and trusting that the desire flowing through is a green light and that it's okay to have a far more expansive self concept than maybe would have felt safe or normal even a few years ago. The money that supports that gets to increase to help fulfill the vision. So my relationship with money has gotten to expand and grow. And there was a point where I couldn't, I don't know, how do I wanna say it? It seemed, like wanting too much to be setting my sights and aiming on $1,000,000 months, like, that seemed like too much, where now I understand it's actually the how behind the vision at my fullest self-expression as I can conceptualize it now, right? Not that that won't change, not that that won't expand, but we get to do the identity work first. We get to do the vibrational work first. We get to tune into who did we really come here on this planet to be? And from there, money is just going to mirror and reflect to you who you are feeling yourself to be, how worthy you are feeling yourself to be, how open you are to receiving, how hard you think it is to make, how easy you think to make it is to make. It's all just your beliefs. It's all just your beliefs. And so if you're chasing strategies without doing the self concept work, the identity work, the wealth consciousness work, you're going to find that you're in burnout. That's when we find ourselves feeling depleted, exhausted, overwhelmed. That's part of why we build our client curriculum and what's in our 10K club, what's in my mastermind, what's in our membership. We build all of it on the foundation of what we call the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. And there's a free training if you want to go deeper into that, ElyseArcher.com/4 quadrants, where you can go into what does that look like? How do you apply it in real life? And learn how to create the self concept to match your goals because our results never supersede our identity. All right, that's part of what we teach and train in the program is how to actually build an identity and self concept that matches the results you're looking to experience. And it's so fun when we do this because our outer world gets to shift dramatically. As I'll share just a fun, quick little client story. So, like I mentioned, we were having a training this entire past week. For primarily our consultants, but also our larger community. We invited in midweek for a client appreciation event and sales mastermind, which is really, really cool. But one of the women in attendance, she's one of our new consultants. And she shared how doing this work and shifting her self concept, she went from never having had a 10K month previously before enrolling in the 10K club. And now she's getting certified as a consultant to within several months of this community, this program, and her really going all in on the material. And I want to acknowledge like she has been so present and going all in on it. Had her first 25K month. And then one morning, one morning this week, she came in and we had our last day at my home here for our consultants, and she came in, she's like, "Well, I made 10K before breakfast today." And then over lunch, she came in, she's like, "I made another 4,700." And it was so fun just to hear her share those wins, and one of the things she shared, and I'll share this here too for this episode because I think it's gonna be useful for you, is she's really embraced the idea of circulation with money and feeling and remembering that every single time she circulates money, it comes back tenfold. It comes back multiplied. And I asked her, what shifted for you? Like, where did things really click? And I laugh as I say this because I told her, okay, I want you to say this on camera because we're going to play this for every prospect of our programs. And so this is not why I'm sharing it, but it is funny. She said it was when I made my first investment in myself in the 10K club in your program, and she did $1,000 deposit, and she said, "When I released that money, it felt so big, so scary, so uncomfortable." She said, "As soon as I did it," this is a rough paraphrase, but she said something like, "I felt free," and it was from that place that money started circulating in because she shifted her self-concept, and that's one of the things I know about investing in yourself, whether you're investing in coaching in our community, whether you're investing in a stylist, whether you're investing in flying first class. When you invest in yourself at a higher level than the current version of you might feel comfortable with, it is a declaration to yourself, to your subconscious, and to the universe that you are calling in more and you are claiming more. And so it's from that place that if we do the work and stay open and aligned, that we call in way more and we experience things like, I made 10K before breakfast when I used to not make 10K in an entire month, right? And that's where those shifts start to come. That's where it starts to happen. And so one of the things that we have been taught, I want to speak to you a little bit about women, wealth, and worth. One of the things we've been taught, this is for all of us, it's not just for women, frankly, but I will speak to women here. We have been taught to shrink our desires. And this was where I think I felt a lot of friction for many years personally, because the true part of me, the deep part of me, the soul part of me was very, very clear on her desires. She knew what she wanted. She knew the type of life she desired to have. She knew the type of home she desired to live in. And yet the smaller part of me questioned it. And the smaller part of me felt wrong. And the smaller part of me felt like I needed to shrink into a life that was more comfortable, maybe more in accordance with what I saw modeled growing up versus what my deep down truth is. And I want you to just pause and touch base and notice, where are you shrinking your desires? Where are you trying to fit into a box that was maybe the box that you saw growing up? That's the box that maybe everyone around you is currently embodying and living. And you will never be satisfied from that place. You will never feel fulfilled from that place. And most importantly, you won't actually feel like yourself from that place. And it's deep work because look, money is root chakra, right? Money is root chakra. It's tied to safety, it's tied to security. And so as we are ascending and doing this work, it can trigger and bring up a lot of feelings around safety, security. Can I do this? Right. And so when we learn to move, and this is something I've been working with my clients on, when we can make money a matter of the heart, not a matter of security and safety, when we can move it from the first energy center to the fourth energy center, and we do that by embracing it with love, we do that with appreciation, we do that by making it spiritual, not about safety. And so, because at a deep soul level, money is not about safety, right? On the surface level, the way that a lot of cultural conditioning is, yes, perhaps that's what we've been taught. But on a soul level, money is simply energy, and money is, to me, I think about it as God provides a tool for us to flow, for us to connect, for us to circulate, for us to connect with our desires and live our most expansive life on this planet. Your security, your safety, that is about your relationship with your higher power, whatever that is for you, God, source, universe, your higher self, whatever your language is there. That is security and safety. Money is there to help you expand. Money is there to help you experience more of life. Money is there to bless your life. And so when we move it from the first energy center, safety, security, to the fourth energy center, love, everything shifts. All right. So that's what we get to do. Something else that I want to invite you to do when it comes to wordiness, your worth is inherent. It is not earned. There is nothing you need to do to earn your wordiness. And I think about this a lot with my kids. Like, whew, doing this work, you become so aware of the programs, the mind viruses that you don't want to pass on to your kids. And not that we won't, because that's just part of life. And there's conditioning and there's society and there's programming. And certainly I've made plenty of mistakes as a parent, said things that I wish I hadn't said, done things I wish I hadn't done. So I know that my kids will get to work through their own limiting beliefs too, but I try as much as I can to limit it. But I look at my kids and I think about how so many in our community, and for myself too, I struggled with lack of self worth and struggled with feeling unworthy of what it is that I desire. But when I look at my kids, I'm like, how could they ever possibly not be worthy? Like, they just are. We come onto this planet worthy. We just are worthy. There's nothing to earn. There's nothing we need to do. And so you came into this planet inherently worthy without needing to earn anything, without needing to do anything. It's lies, it's programming, it's conditioning that teaches you that you are not enough, that teaches you that you need to look a certain way to be worthy or have a certain type of life in order to be worthy or show up in a certain way to be worthy. None of it is true. Your life will flow in easiest alignment when you tune in and say, who did I come here on this planet to be? And from that place, you can tap into and reverse engineer. All right, well, how much money is going to support that? Okay, cool. Let's create some channels to flow that. Let's appreciate money, how it already flows in my life. Let's let it flow in and out in circulation, remembering that God is source, universe is source, not money. It is simply a tool. And I think it was actually Eric Sorensen who we had on the podcast a couple weeks ago, where he talked about the highest vibration that we emit. It's not actually, and a lot of people think it's love, it's freedom. That's not actually it. The highest vibrational frequency that we can possibly emit is authenticity. Isn't that interesting? It's when you are authentic to you, and there's a study done, so you can go back and listen to the podcast where I had him on, where he talks about that. There's science behind this. It's when you vibrate at the frequency of who you came on the planet to be. That is the highest vibration you can put out. And I have been having so much fun with this in my own life, especially over I'd say this past year. And that's looked like giving myself permission to launch the magazine, giving myself permission to get the office space, giving myself permission to dress up and I'm always dressed nice, like, if I'm being honest, because it's just who I am. But sometimes I used to be weird, like, oh, the other moms at school aren't wearing heels or aren't doing the things for drop off. Like, I'm a woman who likes cute shoes. I like to dress up. I like to look good. I like to do that is who I am. I enjoy it. I give myself permission to do it regardless of what everyone else is doing. And it is not about someone's wrong and someone's right. It is simply, this is how I feel most like me. And that's what I want to invite you to do. That's part of how you tap into overflow, is you look at what is the fullest expression of me, and there is an amount of money that's going to support that. You can even use AI to reverse engineer it, which is really, really fun. But so when you align with the truth of that, wealth responds. Now, you've got to do the work around money. You've got to be available to receive. You've got to make money your ally, not the enemy. You've got to appreciate wherever you're starting from, what you have right now. There's a feeling tone to wealth and abundance, and there's a feeling tone to lack. It has nothing to do with what is in the bank. You can have what would feel like an exorbitant amount of money in the bank to someone, and you can look at it and feel lack, and things are gonna feel tight. It's gonna feel constricted. You're gonna feel like, ooh, you're needing to grind to receive, right? You can have what feels maybe for a lot of people like not a lot of money in the bank. But if you look at that and you were like, oh my gosh, I have so much, right? And I don't remember who I heard say this the first time, but if you think about every single dollar as a soldier that you have to go to work for you, someone could have $10 in the bank. They could say, oh my gosh, I've got 10 soldiers. Man, how am I going to use them? How am I going to deploy them to go do what it is that I want to do right now, knowing that they're going to go out and come back and bring their friends. That is the energy. It is all energy. It is a relationship. It is appreciation. When you welcome and appreciate money, no matter how much, the same way that you would a friend coming to visit you in the home, and you're like, thank you so much for coming to visit me. I don't care if there's one of you. I don't care if there's 100 of you. Thank you so much. Let me sit you down. Let me make you a meal. Let me make you comfortable. How are you? I appreciate you being here. Let's have fun. Let's commune. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's get to know each other. What do you think the energy is gonna be? Think about if you had a friend over and you welcome them in like that, they're gonna wanna come back and hang out a lot. They're gonna bring their friends, versus if you had a friend show up to you and you were like, "Oh, you're not enough. Ugh, gosh, I wish it was someone else. I wish there was more of you. You're not enough on your own." Are they gonna wanna come back and hang out with you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So align your energy first to receive and open up to wealth. You will see your sales increase. You will see your revenue increase. It will be easier than ever before as well. All right. So I want to give you 3 money codes. Now, as I record this, we're going into fourth quarter of 2025. So these are 3 money codes for Q4, but you can use these anytime, whatever works for you. Number 1, overflow comes from alignment, not over efforting. All right. Overflow comes from alignment, not over efforting. Number 2, your receiving capacity expands when you expand your identity and you get comfortable in that identity and you play with that identity and you realize you're safe in your more expansive identity. The way that I think about it is the identity I want to take on is always the version of me that I would be proud of to go to my grave and say, man, I really went for it. That is how I choose to live my life. I did not expect to get emotional with that, but I am. And that's okay. I have had multiple moments over my career, over the past year, some even in the past month when things felt heavy where I was like, man, sometimes I joke about like, I could live in my RV and make jam and like be with my kiddos. And here's what's beautiful. With what I am choosing to do with my life, I get to be with my kids. I get to make jam. I get to take trips in the RV, but I also get to lead our company and our community in ways that I can say when I get to the end of my life and I look back, I'll say, you know what? I really went for it. And I really tried my hardest. And I really did the things that maybe felt uncomfortable or felt stretchy or felt like the harder path a lot of times. But they are the things that I know I can die and be proud that I did, because I know they're the things that create a legacy, a ripple effect, impact. And so there is an identity that comes along with that. And for you, whatever the most expansive identity is that you can possibly take on for your life, I want to invite you to say yes to that now. There can feel like safety in playing small. It can feel like safety staying where you are, but you're not going to get to the end and be glad that you did it. You're not going to get to the end and feel potentially as proud of yourself as you could have if you really went for it, if you were willing to go for it and see what was possible on the other side of your comfort zone. So you get to expand your identity and your self-concept. And that's part of why there's so many tools you can do it. That's why I love the work we do in our community, in the 10K club, in my mastermind, in our membership, because it teaches you how to do that. Because from that place, wealth responds differently. Wealth responds to your identity, and it does respond as well to how much you're willing to let in and receive. The third money code, I don't care what's in the bank right now. I don't care if you're coming off of your worst sales month ever, your best sales month ever. Celebrate evidence of overflow now. That will create more. Again, it's all the energy you're putting out. So I want you to play with and this is a belief you can cultivate. You can say, I am really good at seeing wealth everywhere. I am really good at seeing prosperity everywhere. I am really good and manifesting. Like, tell yourself that, right? I teach my kids that. And my 5-year-old Jack, he believes he is the most powerful manifester on the planet. And he is. He manifests things left and right. And I am consciously creating that belief system in him now and all of my kids. He's just the oldest where he gets to, like, it makes more sense to him right now. All right. So to help you tap into overflow, I would invite you to write down right now, if you can, or think about it if you're driving, 3 ways that you have already been in overflow this year. You've already been in overflow this year. Maybe it's, hey, I paid my bills and I had $1 left over. Cool. That was overflow. Maybe it's, oh my gosh, I've got a lot of DMs or emails to respond to. That's overflow, right? Maybe it's, I have an overflow of relationships, an overflow of gratitude, overflow of opportunities, right? Joe Dispenza talks about this. He says, wealthy people don't look so much for money as they look for opportunities. So that's what we want to train our brain to look for, opportunities. We can convert those and transform those into wealth when we leverage them. All right. So I want to invite you, and you could do this as mirror work. You can do it even closing your eyes right now to say, where is it that I might currently be feeling lack or constriction? You can even tune into your body, right? There's a place where you're feeling it. That is not your truth. That is one way you can look at things. And if that's how you choose to look at things, the lens you look at things through, then you'll have more of that experience, right? It's always just a reflection. But I want you to reframe it right now. I want you to reframe it into abundance. I want you to reframe it into the highest possible truth available. I want you to reframe it into wealth, abundance, joy, love, opportunities. So just pause and notice how you can do that. It's an energy shift in your body. From that place, you will call in more. You will experience more. And it really doesn't have to take long. It can happen in a day. It can happen in an hour. It can happen in an instant, right? The time is going to go by anyway. You might as well see what happens when you decide to tap into abundance and unlimited overflow. It's really, really fun. So with that, my friend, I want to thank you for listening. We'll wrap this episode. I'll share with you a little bit about where you can go deeper. And then I want to hear from you on what showed up for you with this episode. So thank you, as always, for sharing this. I would be so honored if you share this on your social media. Tag me. I'm at Elyse Archer. I'd love to hear what showed up for you with this. And send me a DM too. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. My team and I would love to support you in this. You can go to ElyseArcher.com/free call to request a free coaching call with my team. We want to hear about your vision, your goals, what it is that you're calling in. We're here to support you. And here's one thing I'll say. A lot of times people think they need to be prepared before they have that call, or they need to be at a certain level before they have that call. And then they wait. And then months or years pass and nothing changes in their life. You are worthy of having that call right now. You are worthy of jumping on the phone on a Zoom with my team right now. There's nothing different about you and the people you see in our community changing their life, quantum leaping, except that they said, here I am. I'm ready for it. They decided to stop playing small. They decided to see what happened when they went for it, and they decided to get on a call. So I want to invite you again, ElyseArcher.com/free call. Go book a call for yourself now. My team and I are here to help support you. Take this material and embody it. It's one thing to hear me talk about it on the podcast. It's another thing when you get in the room, when you show up in the community, when you raise your hand, when you're worthy, when you're visible, when you're seen. That's actually where, even in just that declaration, a lot of times people call in more money. They call in more opportunities because they stop hiding. They stop playing small, and the universe responds. All right. So I want to invite you to book that call now. So as we close, just know this: money is not the bad guy. All right. Money is simply your mirror. And when you shift what you see inside first, the outer reflection must shift to mirror it. It's really, really fun. It's why we do this work foundationally. And then we talk about business strategy. Then we talk about sales strategy. Then we build the perfect funnel, because it's always a mirror back of how you are viewing yourself on the inside. As we wrap and close, I want to remind you to trust yourself on your path to success. Remember that your desires are green lights, leading you and everyone around you to a brighter, future. I'll see you on our next episode.